All students at the University of Kent are now required to take a diversity course, which suggests that using swear words and wearing second-hand clothes can be examples of white privilege. It's a 4-hour online course. It covers white privilege, preferred pronouns, microaggressions and everything else. It doesn't matter what you're studying, how old you are, undergraduate, postgraduate or not, or what colour your skin is, or what gender you are, or how you identify. You still have to do this course. It includes a white privilege quiz in which participants are asked to select societal benefits allegedly enjoyed by white people in Britain. Any student who ticks all 13 gets a gold star. Otherwise, you're told to try the quiz again. Well, let's talk about this with Professor Ellie Lee, who's Professor of Family and Parenting Research. Good morning to you, Ellie.
Hello.
I've got to be honest with you. If I had been asked to do such a course before I started university, I think I would have said no. I would certainly hope that my daughter, even when she goes to university, would say no. Is it even acceptable to require such a course to be taken and passed, for want of a better word, for a student to be able to engage in higher education?
I hope you haven't got me here to defend this project because I don't agree with it, and I take no pleasure in finding myself in such strong disagreement with my own university. I've worked there for almost 20 years and I found it to be a very tolerant institution which has always actively upheld academic freedom. But unfortunately, we're now in a situation where there are these initiatives, which I think the problem with them is that they completely abrogate that principle which has to inform universities. And it's wrong for a university to project to students the idea that they have to think one way.
Yeah, and that's literally the opposite.
Very important.
Yeah, it's the opposite of what university was all about, wasn't it? I mean, we've had university requirements before where we've been, students are being told at various universities, the men, they have to go on a course to basically learn not to rape, which again I thought was absolutely outrageous, the assumption that every man is a potential rapist. But this course, it's called the Expect Respect course, and it's described as outlining the behaviours we expect of you while you're with us, as well as what you can expect from both university and your students' union. But and it says it aims to dig deep into issues of racism, bias, sexual harassment and consent. But the idea that it comes from the starting point that, white people bad, people of colour victims, I mean, it's offensive to everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree with it. I think there's a lot of curiosities about it. I mean, it says at the beginning that it's compulsory for students. I don't actually think there is going to be compulsion. I don't think that's possible, and I don't think that will be what happens, but it's presented that way. I'm absolutely certain that the people who have initiated this and written it and designed it think that they're being entirely helpful and doing good, which is one of the things that actually worries me about it most. It's almost like this way of thinking has become very commonsensical to a reasonably sizable layer of people. And they just don't see that there could be anything wrong with an institution flagging its colours to this sort of mast. And this is really what worries me about it within university cultures. That there is a real loss of, as I say, the underlying principle which has to influence things. I mean, it's fine for if individual academics want to argue the case for critical race theory, they can, and other people can argue another thing. But institutionally, I don't think that universities should take a side in this way. But what worries me even more is that I think that the people who have designed this don't even realise that's what they're doing.
No, that's
they honestly
really
don't see
thing.
it as a problem. They don't, and I think that there's a level of shock that there's even a furore surrounding this. It's unexpected that anybody would object. And I'm not the only, by the way, fairly senior academic who finds this objectionable.
But you're probably one of the braver ones who's speaking out. And I, for one, really salute you for doing that. And I think it's very brave of you. And it shouldn't be brave of you. It should be the norm that these things are freely debated and discussed without sort of punishment or cancellation and the like. And I really applaud you for doing that. We'd need far more academics to do their job, which is which is to flag this up and flag up the need for academic freedom as well. So thank you so much for talking to us. Professor Ellie Lee, who's Professor of Family and Parenting Research at the University of Kent,